cycles. So for the Hamiltonian cycles, let's say this graph is given to us and we want to find out what all tours are possible into this. So this is quite similar to TSP, but in TSP, we find a minimum cost tour. Whereas within the Hamiltonian problem, we try to find out what all possible tours are there. Yes, so we are not concerned about right now which is the minimum cost tour, but we want to find out what are the different ways in which we can reach to the same source. And when we are talking about a tour is when we start from a particular source vertex, we cover each of the other vertex exactly once and return back to the source vertex. So in this case, let's say the source vertex is 1. So I start from 1, move to 2, then to, let's say, 3, then to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Can I move back to 1? No. So this is not the tour that I can choose. Let's say I take, instead of this, from 1 to 2, then I move to 8, then 7, then 6, then 5, then 4, and then 3, and back to 1. So this is one of the tour or one of the cycle, Hamiltonian cycle that we can have. And if we are choosing this as one of the cycle, then you can say I can take 2 as a starting vertex and I can have this as the path. Yes. So if you see, if I put that into a circle, it is like I'm using the same path, yes, but I'm starting from a different vertex. So these two are actually the same cycle, so only one will be considered. I hope that is clear. Okay. Now, there are certain graphs which looks connected. So for a Hamiltonian cycle, what we need is we need a connected graph which may or may not be a directed graph. So that means it can work with the undirected graphs also, but need to be a connected graph only. And this is a NP hard problem. So we will talk about NP hard, NP complete problems little later. So whatever the non-polynomial problems we have, yes, like this one, where we try to create the state space tree, it usually takes the exponential time. So once we have the algorithm, we'll discuss about that. Now coming back to, there are certain graphs for which the Hamiltonian cycles are not possible. That means there is no cycle within the graph. Let's see what are those graphs and what are the properties of the nodes that will make them as a no Hamiltonian cycle graph. So in this case, if I try to start from 1, I can go to 2, I can go to 3, then 4, then I can go to 6, then I can either go to 7 or 5. I cannot go have a path there. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 7, 6, 4. I can go back to 1. So I cannot connect to 5 then. Yes, so that is also disconnected in that case. Yes, so another example for this is where you have nodes such that they become the connecting points between two disconnected nodes. So in this case, if you have to move further, you have to again go through this vertex twice. So if you have to get a cycle, you may have to go through this vertex twice. In this case also, you will have to go through one of the vertex twice. So those vertices are called articulation points. And whenever we have articulation points which join the disconnected vertices, there is no cycle possible, because we said a cycle or a tour is possible if we start from a source vertex and traverse through each of the vertex only once and reach back to the source vertex. Fine. So this is one. Another one is when you have pendant vertices. Now, if you have a graph where you have certain kind of vertices which are not connected but looks like hanging. Yes. So they are called pendant vertices, and they definitely have an articulation point also. And in this case, again, you cannot have a cycle. Fine. So now let's start with a smaller graph and find out the Hamiltonian cycle. Fine. So for this graph, we have taken the adjacency matrix and we are going to take another array X, which is going to be of the size n. N is equal to 5 vertices. So our X array is also going to have those 5 values. Yes. Now these 5 values, if we are not taking for the first vertex, because we know we have taken the source vertex as the initial vertex. So source vertex is 1. So from this index perspective, actually it is 0. So let me just put this as 0 so that it remains the same when we are understanding. Fine. So for this, if this is my source vertex 0, so I know I'm going to start from here. So this is as a visited one. So if I want to take the path as the result into the array X, so I would be looking out for what is the next and next number of nodes. Fine. I hope that is clear to you all. So in this case, if you want to take up for 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so what we will do is we will make this as the starting. So we will start with this as 0. Yes. So if you want to take the nomenclature as for the vertices as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can take it as this. If you are taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can start it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so that it becomes consistent with what you are writing here. And because we are starting from the first vertex, so we are putting at the for the path which will have n plus 1 vertices, where the first and the last vertex will be the same. Yes, the tour will have how many vertices? It will have 6 vertices, where it starts from the source vertex, that is 0, and ends at the same vertex, that is 0. Fine. So we will see how this is going to work. Now for this one, and when it is starting from the 0 vertex, it is going to check whether one thing, that for what is the next vertex that we can have. Yes, so I'm starting from the source vertex 0. Yes, so x 0 is taken as 0. After that, what all choices I can have here is I can have the other 4 vertices. Yes, so the another at the very first place I can have is 1. Yes, the next vertex. Now what do I make a choice here is that if I have a path from 0 to 1. Yes, so that is the choice that I need to make. Fine. So for that one, 0 to 1, we'll look into this 0 to 1. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 1, there is a path. Yes. So that means it is possible. So what I do is I'll put here as 1. Fine. And after that, what do I do is I check for the other word. Yes. So that is x2. What are the different options I can have here? Now what I cannot have here is I cannot have 0 or 1 coming up again. Yes. So if I have to make a complete state space tree here, I would have actually done as this is the options. Yes. For x1, I can either have 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this I cannot have. I can have this. So once I have this, I can have again the 5 vertices. So if it is 0, I should not take. If it is 1, I should not take, because every vertex should be only traversed once. And then I can have 2. So in this case, x2 will be taken as 2. Yes. So in that case, I need to find out from 1 to 2 is there is a path. So whichever was the previous chosen value, from that to the current one, which is taken as 2, do I have a path from 1 to 2? Yes. If there is a path, I'll keep it here. Fine. After that, again, I know that I cannot have 0, 1 and 2 as the choices at the third place. So I can only have 3. So again, I try to find out whether there is a path from the previous value to the current value, 2 to 3. Yes, there is a path. So I'll keep it here. Fine. After that, for the x4, which is the last choice in this case, so I try to find out, do I have a choice here? Yes. I cannot have 0, 1, 2 and 3, but I can have 4. Why? Because there is a path from 3 to 4. Yes. So I'll keep 4. Now, because I have reached the end, what I need to find out is from this last vertex, do I have a path to the starting vertex? That is from 4 to 0, do I have a path? Yes, the path is there. So in that case, this is the chosen tour, or a cycle is possible taking all these choices. Fine. So after this, because we need to find out all the cycles, so what we do is we try to backtrack. Yes. So in that case, what we do is we assign this value as 0. Fine. So, or I should say in that case, -1. Fine. So this is assigned -1. I backtrack to this. So if I have already chosen this path, what are the other values I can have? I cannot have any other value here. So I backtrack from here to here. So from 2, what all values I can have? So from 2, at the x3 point, I can have 3 or I can have 4. Fine. So right now I am at this particular place. So from 2 to 4, is there a path? No, there is no path. Yes. Can I have any other further values than this? No, because I cannot have 0, 1 and 2. 3 I have already traversed. Now I try to find out from 4. There is no path possible. So I backtrack. So I backtrack to this place. So instead of 2, can I take 3? So at this particular point where x2 is taken as 3, so This one has become a bounding function and we have backtracked to this. So x2 is equal to 3. So is there a path, because this is also taken out. So 1 to 3, because the previous one was 1. 1 to 3, is there a path? Yes. So we keep here 3. Fine. Now at this particular point that we have here, yes, we have taken this. So what all values I can take is 0, 1 and 3 cannot be taken. So I can take 2 and 4. Yes. So let's say I select 2. So if from x3 I select 2, 3 to 2 there is a path. Yes. So that gets chosen. From 2, now do I have a path to 4? No. So that again becomes a bounding function. I hope this is clear. Yes. So I cannot make a choice this. So I backtrack and instead of 2, now let me select 4. So from 3 to 4, there is a path. But again, next option left is only 2. Again, which becomes a bounding function where we cannot have the path. So this is also not taken. So this is not taken. Then we backtrack to 1. And at the x2 position, the last option that is left to us is 4. If I have from 0 to 1 and then to 4. Yes, 1 to 4 there is a path, so I take it. From 4, I can either go to 2 or I can go to 3. So if 4 to 2, there is no path, so this is also not taken. 4 to 3, there is a path, so it is taken. And 3, from 3, I can only have C. Right now, the path that is being chosen here is, you have taken 0, then you have taken 1, and after that, you have taken 4, and then you are taking 3. Yes, so 0, 1, 4, 3 is done. So you can only have now 2. Fine. So at x3, what value you have taken is 3, and at x4 you have taken as 2. Yes, because 3 to 2 there is a path. So this becomes 2. Then 2 to 0, is there a path? Yes. So that means this is a solution. So right now what we have done is we have only taken one value from here, that means from 0 to 1, and we have tried to check all the possible conditions and we have seen that we can get two paths. One is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 0. Another one is 0, 1, 4, 3, 2, 0. Fine. So we have gotten here two paths when we have only checked with this. So there can be multiple paths also present. So for this, what all conditions that we have taken care? Yes. So let's see what all conditions we have taken care. The first condition that we were checking was whether you have a path there or not. Yes. And another condition is that if there is a path, yes, if there is a path, does it lead to the further path or not? Yes, and if it is the last node, does it connect back to the starting node? That means there is a path from the last vertex that is chosen to the source vertex. Yes, in both the two solutions. Fine. So this particular one is a recursive program. So let's quickly check with how we work with the algorithm. Okay. So yes, guys. So coming back to the program. So the program starts with the input as a k value. K value is the index into the array. So this X array, so what is assumed as an input to this function is the adjacency matrix as well as the number of vertices that are there, that is n value, which in our case is 5. Yes, so n is equal to 5, and the array X, which goes from 0 to 4, and all the values are initialized to -1, and the first one is taken as 0, which is nothing but your starting vertex. Fine. So with this, when it starts, so it starts with the k equal to 2 value. So it need to start from the next node, and what it tries to do is that it tries to find out whether we have a particular value there for that x index. What is that value? And so it tries to put some value here. So if that is -1, that means there is no path, then it returns. Otherwise, if k is equal to n, so that means we are at the last node. Yes, so this function only takes care of all the conditions. Yes, so this particular one checks for whether there is a path to the next node, and the last one here we will talk about it. Okay, it talks about whether we have a path from the last node to the first vertex. So if that path is there, then it is going to return this, and it is going to write it as the output. Fine. If it is not, what it is going to do is it is again going to recursively call for the next value. Fine. If it is not equal to n, then it is going to recursively call, and if that value is equal to -1, then it is going to return. So how this program was working, let's say we have checked for the value, next value at the second index, that is equal to 1. Yes, for the 0th index we have already made it as 0, and for the first vertex, first index k equal to 1, we are going to start with. Yes, actually, so all this processing is done by the next value function. So we will talk about this particular statement little later. It is just a mod function to get the next values. But let's start with when the k is equal to 1. Yes. So what was the previous value of xk? It was -1, the current value. Okay, plus 1 and mod of n. Yes. So in that case, it will become 0, mod n will be 0. So what it is trying to assign here as the value 0. Fine. So later it will change. So what it is going to do here is it is checking if it is -1, that means no value should be assigned, then it will return. Yes. In that case, right now this is not true. So we move on to the next one. So this one within the graph adjacency matrix, what it is trying to do is this is the first index and this is the next index. So you remember we talked about that if we have to choose this one, whether a path is there from the previous value to the current value. Yes. So the previous value is at x minus 1. Sorry, k minus 1, x of k minus 1. The current value is at xk. Yes. So we are trying to find out k minus 1 is 0. Xk is also 0. If there is a path between 0 to 0, no. Yes, there is no path from this to this. So this will not be executed. I hope this is getting clear that if there is no path, okay, so this will not be executed and we will go on to repeat this whole. Yes, so whole of this logic is only considered if there is a path. Yes, if there is no path, we don't do any further processing. So we move further. We had made this value 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Mod of n, n is 5. So 1 mod n is 1. So this will be changed to 1. This if condition is false, so we come here. So what we do is g x k minus 1, that is 0. X k is 1. So 0 to 1 is there is a path. Yes, 0 to 1 there is a path. Yes, it is not equal to 0. Then we are going to process this. Yes, so if there is a path, what we are going to do is we want that particular value. So what we do is we choose this I that goes from 1 to k minus 1 here. Yes. So actually it should be 0 because the index starts from 0. So 0 to k minus 1. So 0 to k minus 1, k is 1. So this is 0. So it is only going from 0 to 0, only one iteration. So what does it check there is if x of I and x of k is same. X of I, that is x of 0 and 1. So what we are checking here is this particular condition, this for loop with the condition is going to check that we are not taking the repeated values. Fine. So once we have a different value, then only it is going to work. Otherwise, it is going to break this loop. Fine. So if xi is equal to xk, that means I value have actually reached the k value. If it is not same, yes, so what it will do is in this case, see, k value is for us 1, so this is 0. So x of 0 is equal to x of k, which is 1. So this is 1 index, this is 0 index. X of 0 is 0, x of 1 is 1. Are they same? No. So it will try to go for the next iteration and make the value of I as 1 and come out of this for loop. Fine. Now what is the value of I? 1. What is the value of k? 1. So that means this is going to check or take that value till you have gotten the values that you have not searched for. Fine. So after this, it is going to check whether you have reached till the end. If you have reached till the end, yes, then it returns. Sorry, if it has not reached the end, that means k is less than n, then it, uh, what does it do is, it will just return back as a true value. Otherwise, what it will do is if you have reached till the end, that means k is equal to n minus 1. If the k value, when we will reach here, k value will be 4. So it will be equal to n minus 1. We have reached the last node. Then this last condition that I have written is from the adjacency matrix, there is a path that goes from xn minus 1 to x0. That means from the last vertex to the starting vertex. If that is not 0, that means it is equal to 1, it is there. Then what we will have is a path. Yes, and then we will return true, else we will return the false after this repeat. Fine. So in this case, it is going to return back here. Let's say k is less than n. So it is going to return here because at k equal to 1, we have kept as 1. So it returns back here. Now it checks whether the xk value is equal to minus 1. No, it is 1. K is equal to n. No. So what it is going to do is, it is going to recursively call for k plus 1. So from here, it has gone to this. So again, it starts with the same process. When it is 0, it will not do. When it is 1, it will not work. When it is 2, then only it is going to work. Fine. And similarly, it will keep on going. Now, because the algorithm as well as your state space tree tracing is very, very huge, we cannot do the complete one here. Okay. But you have to understand that to get to a solution, what are the conditions that are required. So to get to a solution, what we need to do is, whichever vertices we have already chosen, we are not going to choose that. And we should make sure that from the previous vertex to the current vertex that we are making a choice, there is a path. So if previously 1 was chosen, 4 is chosen now, so 1 to 4, there should be a path. And next is when you reach till the end, from the last vertex to the first vertex, you have a path. So these are the 3 conditions that we have here. Fine. So this condition checks for whether you have a path or not. This condition, last one, checks for whether you have path from the last vertex, that is k equal to n. So we have 2 conditions here. One is the or and another one is the and. So let me just write it clearly here. X is less than n minus 1. This is one condition. Or k equal to n and g of, sorry, n minus 1 here, and g of x n minus 1 and the other one is x0, there is a path. Yes, either this or a combination of this. So there is a and between the two. Fine. So if it is not the last node, we have not, it is still lesser than that. Fine. So in that case, we will go back and try to find out the next node values. If it is the last one, we check for whether there is a path or not from the last vertex to the starting vertex. Yes. So that is only the three conditions. And within this, we have only two conditions. This one to backtrack, that means if you are reaching a particular stage where you are making it -1, then you return back. And if x is equal to n, what do? Then you write the solution. So if there was a path, it was returned true, then you return here and you give the solution. Yes. And if not, then you move on to the next one. So that is whole algorithm. Yes. So guys,